we are in the kitchen doing calamari. Looks like we're gonna end up doing it 3 different ways. So I am making a bowl here of the rings and the tentacles, which I believe this is like actually part of the head of the squid. I'm going to lightly bread them Italian style in just semolina flour. So it's like semolina di grano duro is what it's called. And it's like a crunchy flour that's like almost as thick as a breadcrumb. And then over here, I'm slicing up a little bit thinner rings and using the tiny little tentacles. We're gonna make a pasta with that. And then over here, we're keeping the big guys to sear in the cast iron skillet. And I will show you it all when it's done. So I've never made calamari before in the air fryer using my homemade calamari. I've done it with the frozen stuff that you just put on the basket and spritz and put in. And it's turned out really good. So there's no reason to think why I can't make it from scratch with my own organic semolina flour. A lot of Americans will soak their calamari in buttermilk or some kind of dairy. I'm not doing that because these are really teeny tiny ones. So I feel like you would do that with the really thick, gigantic ones that like they fish in Northern California and Oregon and Washington and stuff. I don't think you need to do that with these. These are more like the ones that you get in the Mediterranean, the Italian style ones. They're like light and thin and small and delicate. So I'm going to make Calamari Fritti Italian style. So just a quick dry off, a quick toss in oil, extra virgin olive oil, and then a quick toss in semolina, and then into the air fryer they go. I drizzled a little bit of olive oil on them just to dampen them so the semolina has something to stick to. And I don't have a ton of semolina. I use it on the bottom of my pizza crust. Okay, the calamari is ready. I just cut the whole heads into rings. I just like sliced them across to make the rings. And then I'm leaving these lovely little tentacles whole. So I dried them off with a paper towel, and then in my sourdough bread when I make my homemade sourdough pizza and bread. So I did probably 2 tablespoons of semolina and then a tablespoon of regular, and we'll see how this comes out. So I'm just gonna do it shake and bake style. I put it in here. I'll zip the bag with some air in it and shake it up and let it get nice and covered. Shake it, shake it, shake it. So you can see that I just blew air in the bag to give it some space, but it's getting nice and covered. Spray the air fry basket. But calamari cooks really quickly. So over here, Marco sauteed the calamari pieces in garlic, olive oil, parsley, salt, a little bit of chili flakes. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. And if you overcook them, they get really gummy and not very desirable to eat. So you want to make sure that they're just perfectly cooked, which is like just a couple minutes. So when you're making it in like a pasta sauce and it's fresh, you want to make sure that you're not overcooking it, even if it's frozen. Literally, it's like 2 to 3 minutes tops, especially when they're the little calamari, like the little squid. They're super delicate. Over here for the air fryer, it doesn't matter what kind of air fryer you have. In all air fryers, you want to make sure that you just do a single layer. So I have a single layer here. I'm going to spritz it with my avocado oil spray and then put it. I just tasted one of the squid that Marco pulled off the heat. So good. It's super important to keep them tender and not gummy. So I'll just show you, like over here. Sauce is not done, but the calamari was done. So he just used the rest of the liquid that came out of the calamari, and he's going to boil it down, add a couple cherry tomatoes, and make the sauce with it. So just, and I have these guys in the air fryer at 375, and they should only take about 10 minutes. So about halfway through, I'll see if they are ready to flip. So here's the pasta. It came out bomb. Looks super delicious. Yeah. So pretty. So the key when you plate your pasta, when you have a great like condiment like this, I don't want to call it a sauce, but like it's the condiment of the pasta, you serve every plate a little bit of pasta and then a little bit more, because the condiment all stays and the sauce stays on the bottom. So you want to give everybody a little bit of that last delicious spoonful of what comes on the bottom of the pan. Look at that. Yummy. So can you hear that? That means it's time to flip the calamari, that sizzle. So I just take it out real quick and grab a fork and carefully flip them over, and then I spray the side that's left on top with a little bit more of that avocado oil spray, and let it cook for a few more minutes until they're crispy and golden brown. Okay, they're out. They look delicious. It took about 20 minutes for them to properly cook and get that nice little golden brown crust. And now we're ready to try them. So I love just adding a touch of salt after they come out of the air fryer, and then a little squeeze of lemon. So good. The semolina is what really gives it that flavor, that it's Italian style calamari and not American. Americans tend to batter their calamari and put a whole lot of herbs and spices in the flour, kind of like you would with fried chicken, which, you know, if that's what you like, that's cool. That's why I cook fresh, but so good. I'm going to make round 2, and then we'll see if we are going to sear these squid tonight or not. We're actually full, so if it looks like they'll last for tomorrow, we might wait and do it tomorrow. Thing is awesome. You do what you like. I prefer it really lightly flavored, so you can taste the flavor of the fresh fish. So that's tends to be how Italians cook, and the flavor profiles that they use are like just light and... So the second batch just came out. I actually cooked these at 450 for about 15 minutes, and I did not flip them halfway through because we were eating pasta and I didn't want to get up and do it. But what I did do was do a sprinkling of salt before I put them in the oven. I would definitely do that next time. Salt it before it goes in. It really doesn't need any other spices or seasoning because it's so fresh and so delicious. And the semolina flour really adds a good, delicious crunch. And it's like this light little crust. Super delicious. Super delicious. Highly recommend. Highly recommend air fryer calamari.
Ci trovi.
Amazing. So, we're so full. The pasta and the air fried calamari were so good that we are not gonna do the ones in the cast iron tonight. The fish is really fresh, so tomorrow it'll still be good. So, tomorrow, probably for lunch, I'll sear them in the cast iron skillet. I'll show you guys what I do. It's going to be super easy. They only take a couple minutes on each side, so it's literally like a 5-minute lunch. Maybe like 10 if I cut up a salad to go with it. So it'll be super easy, super healthy. And we were just talking about where you get good squid here, because we never really buy it. I always go for the octopus, but I do remember seeing it quite a bit at Whole Foods at different times of the year. So I'll start buying it more often from Whole Foods and start experimenting a little bit more with it along with the octopus, because the squid just cooks so quickly. It's so easy. Hey. Hey, buddy. What you doing? Coming in for a snack?
I'm not supposed to feed the birds.